Y'all, this is a variety kit, and in case you're wondering, I'm in the dining room. And I was gonna say, actually, I've noticed I've been getting a lot more comments. So, and actually, I told my grandma about this, and she said I should tell them thank you. Yeah, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Even most of the bad comments I still like because you're still saying your opinion. Yeah, hear your opinion. But anyways, today we're going to get started. Today we're going to be looking at which iPhone is the best and which iPhone is the worst. This is the iPhone 2G right here. It's the first one. As you can see, it has huge bezels. Yeah, I know, they're one of the hugest. I mean, not the hugest, not as big as the 3G or 3GS, which we'll be getting to in a little bit. But as you can see, there's those huge bezels. And as you can see, that volume rocker that's kind of being shown right now, slowly being shown. It doesn't look the best either, and I don't like that two-tone right there. Silver isn't my favorite. I mean, the black part is okay. Yeah, it's just not the best. Yeah. So, yep, and for all of these images, no copyright claim was intended. I do not own any of these pictures. Okay, now you can see the top, and you can see more of the volume rockers. It just doesn't look the best. And hey, I was actually going to say, I think it's weird that it says 3G up there, even though the original iPhone didn't have 3G data. I don't know what that was for. Yeah, and the camera lens doesn't look like the best design like we'll see in the future iPhones. It's like really thick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a problem to me, but it just doesn't look the best, and there's no wallpapers as they weren't supported until iOS 4, and the 2G was only supported up to iPhone OS 3.1.3, so yeah, it doesn't look like the best iPhone. And in fact, actually, we'll get to it. It's one of the worst at the end. Well, yeah, I'll talk about that at the end. Okay, so this is the iPhone 3G. As you can see, it doesn't have the two-tone, and this was actually the first one that came in multiple colors. And actually, all of them except the iPhone 2G came in multiple colors. Yeah, it looks much better, and I really like the black, and all of these iPhones are in the favorite color of mine. And while it still has huge bezels, it does look much better than the iPhone 2G. And hey, it looks like it has a compass there, which that's weird because it wasn't because the compass wasn't available until the iPhone 3GS. But yeah, it looks much better than the iPhone 3G. I mean the iPhone 2G, and it still has these huge bezels. And by the way, that I know of, the iPhone 3G and 3GS look basically identical. So yeah, I mean, if there are any differences, let me know. I mean, in terms of their looks, let me know in the comments. Okay, now this is the iPhone 4 and the 4S. This is just a picture of the iPhone 4. And I don't know if you can tell whether or not it's running iOS 4, but I mean, the iPhone 4S didn't support iOS 4, obviously, because iOS 5 was already out. But this is the iPhone 4. Yeah, it actually looks, I'd say that actually I feel like the front looks better than the 3G and 3GS, while the back looks a little bit worse than the 3G and 3GS. But I'd say that the advantages on the front outweigh the advantages on the back. And actually, I mean, like, if you saw my 12 reasons why I like the Galaxy Note 9 better than the iPhone XS Max, which I'm getting a bit off topic, I know. But if you saw that video, you know that I like the idea of curved screens. And actually, yeah, I know that's kind of what the 3G and 3GS were. They had a curved back. But however, I would say that the iPhone 4 overall does look better due to the better front outweighing the worser back. Yeah, so, and I mean, like I said, the 4S looks identical that I know of. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Again, let me know in the comments if there are any differences between the 4S and 4 in terms of how they look. Okay, now this is the iPhone 5. This is also, I'd say, one of my least favorite iPhone designs. I mean, sure, the bezels got smaller from the 4S to the 5, which is nice. And, I mean, they're still big, but however, I mean, it's just not my favorite. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the two-tone. I mean, yeah, I'll admit, it's not the worst, but it's one of the worst, and we'll get to that at the end. And yeah, as you can see, it's just, and it is bigger, which makes a slight improvement. And I like that bigger size, the idea of the bigger size. Um, uh, yeah, it doesn't look like the best. And sure, and 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 like it does look better than the than the silver option, but it's still not the best in my opinion. Okay, and now you can see the top of the device, or hopefully you'll be able to. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's going up, so you'll probably be able to see it. But, yeah, and actually, as you'll be able to see, the top of the device, it looks okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the two-tone. I mean, it's better than the original iPhones. Yeah. And I mean, although and I'm also not a big fan of the look of the flash. Yeah, I mean, not only is it worse than the dual tone on the iPhone 5S, but it's also not, it doesn't look as good. Yeah. And I mean, I guess you can say the camera lens looks okay. I mean, I don't really know, but yeah. Okay, now here is the iPhone 5C. As you can see, it still has those huge bezels. It's actually bigger than the iPhone 5, but that is far compared to how well it looks. Like, I love the plasticky look of the iPhone 5C here. It looks cool. Yeah, I know, and this is in my favorite color, as always. Yeah, it looks great. And as you can see, while I don't like the home button design as much as the 5S, which we'll be getting into, that far outweighs the fact that that the inferior home button design is far smaller than the fact that it is a better design. So yeah, this is one of the best. Now here's the top. I mean, like again, it has those bigger bezels, but however, it still looks amazing, and I like the camera design better. The better back finish makes the camera design look a lot better. And yeah, the iPhone 5C just overall looks way better than the iPhone 5. Um, uh, yeah. So this right here is the iPhone 5S. I was actually going to say the camera design at the top is the same as the iPhone 5. But I'd say, yeah, this one actually looks better than the iPhone 5 um, uh, because it has a gold color and I like the new home button better. I mean, not only is it better in terms of features, but it's better because I like the way it looks better. Yeah, I like the Touch ID home button better than the older home button on the 5C and earlier. But yeah, it looks better, and like I said, I like the gold color better. So overall, this is nowhere near as good as the iPhone 5C's looks, but still better than the iPhone 5's looks. This is the iPhone 6. It's actually one of the worst ones in my opinion. It's one of the least favorites in terms of my looks, or I mean in terms of the looks. I don't like those antenna bands, and I mean while the home button does make it better, and actually it is worth noting that I do like the volume rockers. The volume rockers are fine. It's just it's not the best. And oh yeah, and the Touch ID does make it good. And yeah, it's just not the best. In fact, it's one of the worst. And now this is the top. I was actually going to say the bezels on the top and bottom did get smaller, so that made it look better. But it's still, I'd say, one of the worst. And as you can see, something else that makes it bad is the protruding camera lens at the top. So yeah, this was not one of the best. Hey, and actually I was going to say, it seems like right now, or I mean at least earlier, like right now, it seems like I really sound like that guy on the Top 15's YouTube channel. Tell me if you agree with me in the comments. This is the iPhone 6 Plus. The bezels are slightly bigger than the iPhone 6. Maybe because Apple wanted to make it proportion bigger like the screen. But however, it is worth noting that it still has a better screen to body ratio than the iPhone 6. And it is worth noting that the bezels are also bigger than like the 5 and 5S, but however, they're not as big as iPhones like the iPhone 3G, so that's good. But anyways, as you can see, I mean, I like the look of the bigger size, so that makes it look just slightly better than the smaller iPhone 6. So yeah. So this is the iPhone 6S here. Same as the iPhone 6, but it comes in a rose gold. And actually, I'd say the rose gold color outweighs the bigger size. So yeah, it does look better than the iPhone 6, but still, again, not the best due to those antenna lines there. And yeah, actually, I know this is in a low quality image. I'm kind of sorry about that if it bothers you. This is the iPhone 6S Plus, same thing as the 6S, same thing as with the 6 and 6 Plus, just a tiny bit better due to it being having a bigger screen. So yeah, that's the only thing that makes it better in terms of the looks that I know of. Here is the iPhone SE. It has the same screen size and dimensions as the iPhone 5S. So, but however, it does look better due to its rose gold color, giving it also a win over the 5S, and I'd say a win over the iPhone 6. Oh yeah, and it doesn't have the protruding camera like the iPhone 6. So it's not one of the best, but it's not one of the worst either. This is the iPhone 7 here. It's in jet black. My favorite, possibly my favorite iPhone color yet. No, wait, I'd say the 5C colors look better. But it looks amazing, as you can see on the iPhone 7 color. And yeah, again, like I like that home button. And you can't fully see the volume rockers, but I like the volume rocker design better than that on the 6S and the previous one. So this is one of the best iPhone designs, but not up for the best, as you'll see in a little bit. As you can see, that new camera design, I like it better there at the top. Yeah, I like that camera design better at the top, even though the camera protrudes more than it did on the iPhone 6S. I like it better. This is the iPhone 7 Plus. In addition to the size, what else I like better about it is the dual camera, which you'll see in a little bit in the image, probably when I'm done talking. But yeah, and again, like I said, I like the jet black color, making this up for one of the best looking iPhones in my opinion. This is an iPhone 8. This is in product red. Like y'all know, it's my favorite color because that's what I said. All the iPhones are going to be in their favorite color of mine. And yeah, it doesn't look as good as the iPhone 7 in my opinion, even the smaller one. But however, it's good that it still has that good camera lens design that I like, and it's actually worth noting that the camera bump there on the iPhone 8 is actually a little bit smaller than it is on the iPhone 7, which could make the camera glass not be as likely to crack. And however, I mean, while I did like the black, I don't think the black should go with the product red. I feel like I like the iPhone 7 product red better because it had a white front. So yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, I know some YouTubers disagree with me, like I know Everything Apple Pro said he disagreed with me. So sorry, Everything Apple Pro, if you're watching this. Here's the iPhone 8 Plus in product red. And actually, I was going to say, oh yeah, about the iPhone 7 design. I also like it better than the 6S because of the removal of the antenna bands. So yeah. So yeah, I like this design of the iPhone 8 Plus, and y'all know it has a dual camera system, which, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to show it. Maybe I will, but yeah, as you can see, I like the iPhone 8 Plus design. I like the iPhone 8 Plus design, making this one up for one of the best iPhones. So this is the iPhone 10, and actually, I mean, while I do love the almost all display design, it's not the best because I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the shade of space gray that Apple did. I mean, it's not horrible, but I mean, it's not the best either. And yeah, and it's not completely all bezel-less. And yeah, and now we're gonna look at, and you'll see some stuff at the top in a little bit that also makes it not one of the best. As you can see, there's that vertical dual rear camera, which I'm not a big fan of. I prefer the horizontal one, which actually I read that Apple moved that due to that notch there, which I'm not a big fan of either. And it's not a horrible design, but it's not up for one of the best designs. I mean, even though it was my favorite iPhone at launch, yeah, it's not up for one of the best. This is the iPhone XR, and even though it does have slightly bigger bezels around the frame of the phone than the iPhone X, it does come in much better color options, which far outweighs the fact that it has slightly bigger bezels. And yeah, like I said, it has the all-screen design, making this up for one of the best, which you'll see in a little bit. Looking at the top of the phone, as you'll see, even though there's still a notch, that really doesn't really bother me considering how good the wallpapers are, and I like the camera design. The camera design looks good, even though it's not like a curved slope camera like on the 7 and 8 series. It's still good, and even though it's not a dual camera, it's still good. I still like it, and yeah, it just looks like an amazing iPhone at the top, which is more proof that this is up for one of the best iPhones. Here is the iPhone XS. As you can see, it looks amazing, and it would be a little bit better than the iPhone X due to the gold color, as you see here. And this isn't up for one of the best, but it still looks amazing in my opinion. Yeah, and I'll talk about, in the next image, you'll see of the XS why it isn't up for one of the best. So, I mean, what doesn't make it the best is, as you can see, I mean, actually, Apple does do a much better job at hiding the notch. Like, as you can see, I can barely see it. All I can see at the top is just the earpiece and the front-facing camera. So, yeah, it looks like they did do a much better job. Can't actually see the actual parts of the notch, even though they're still there. And they do interfere with the battery percentage icon, which I know is bad. But yeah, as you can see, and actually I'm not a big fan of the camera design, like the vertical camera and the fact that it doesn't slope, so that's not what makes it not up for one of the best looking iPhones. It's the iPhone XS Max, same design, same old stuff as the iPhone XS. It's just the only thing that makes it look better is the bigger screen, which I like the look of, in my opinion. So yeah, and again, not up for one of the best, although better than the XS, like I said. Okay, so that eliminates it down to 4, even though there's more than 4 good looking for the best. So there's the iPhone 5C, iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone XR. Now, I mean, so the 7 Plus and 8 Plus, I like them some of the best because of their horizontal dual camera setup, which I like better than the vertical dual camera setup. And and then there's and then there's the iPhone 5C and iPhone XR, which I like because of their colorful look. Now I was gonna say, now because the colorful look outweighs the dual camera setup, that eliminates the iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 7 Plus. And actually, I would say the 7 Plus is better than the 8 Plus, since in its best color, the iPhone 7 Plus is better. So then that leaves it down to the iPhone 5C and iPhone XR. Now, because the iPhone 5C has huge bezels and a much smaller screen, and since I like the bigger screen look, that leaves the iPhone XR as the best iPhone ever. Best iPhone ever in terms of look. Actually, I know I'm in around the same place I was earlier, but I was going to say it's actually 5 p.m., whereas earlier I was recording it at 10:30 a.m. today, or around 10:30, while it's just before 5 p.m. now, while I was recording it at just before 10:30 a.m., or that's when I started. But anyways, yeah. I was gonna say, I was actually gonna say, now we're gonna decide which ones are the worst. Okay, so there was so up for the worst is the iPhone 2G, iPhone 5, and iPhone 6. So, okay, so I said I didn't like the iPhone 2G for a combination of things. The two-tone design I didn't like, the huge bezels and stuff, while the iPhone 5 was bad because of the two-tone and I don't know, and not the best color, while the iPhone 6 was one of the worst because it had because of those antenna bands and the not good looking camera design, in my opinion. So now we're gonna eliminate some around my house area. And yeah, so I was gonna say, so I'm deciding to eliminate the iPhone 6 because of its Touch ID home button in gold color. That looked good, so that eliminates the iPhone 6 as the worst. And then we can eliminate the iPhone 5. No, I mean, actually, I had this planned out. We can eliminate the iPhone 5 because, I don't know, well, I mean, it looks good in black, and it has smaller bezels, which the smaller bezels are a minor thing. While the 2G, making the iPhone 2G the worst looking iPhone, in my opinion. Those were the iPhones in order, in my opinion. Go check the description. It might not be there immediately, but go check the description maybe later on if you don't find it there at first. For like all the order of the iPhones I didn't mention. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for bearing through. Sorry it was so long. Oh, that's taking up time. But anyways, have a nice day or time. Bye.